Hey y'all, come in some more. Don't be shy. Uh, Good morning, TFK. How are y'all feeling this morning? Yeah. Well, welcome. This is the Listening Tree. This is Brother Omar. This is his bookstore. It's a Black-owned bookstore. All the authors in here that you see, the books, all written by us, illustrated and produced by us. So this is a Black-owned bookstore with Black authors and with Black characters. And my name is Princess Medaya. I actually run my own school, Coach Hebrew Academy at Simple Keith Irene. I don't know if most of y'all know, but Mama Allende is my cousin, and we grew up together in the movement. And so we collaborated with Mama Tashia with Lumbo, and we're all together with Educate to Liberate. And so we're going to be doing a lot of different activities together. This is one of many. And so the book fair is really for you all to come and be able to explore and, find books that you may not find anywhere else. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, welcome in, y'all. So like she said, we committed to Black authorship. So what you see here is what is really, really a great story. And a lot of what we do, a lot of it, and forgive me, y'all, I got my shades on because I had a freak accident that messed my eye up a couple of days ago, okay? I don't want to scare you with my red eyes, all right? But take a look around, really, really kind of take it in. And today, I'll be honest with you, at your age, what we really try to do here is we focus heavy on entrepreneurship. We focus heavy on finances. We're very, very serious about that piece because that gives us a lot of power in this space that we need as you grow up. Does that make sense to y'all? So like the earlier that you gain that influence, the earlier now you get a chance to kind of express and be who you are. So I'm just happy to see y'all. I want y'all to look around. I want y'all to really, really take in the space. And then in a little while we're actually gonna go through some things that I think you're really gonna enjoy. Is that all right with y'all? Yes. All right, sound good. Y'all got any questions? Hey, well, good morning. Good. Everybody sleep good? Yes. All right, now we got some no's, some yeses. That sounds about right, don't you? Right? Huh? So I met Sister Allende, was it like 10 years ago?
Long time.
13?
13.
We connected and we stayed connected ever since. Y'all got me? And so this is what we're doing. And you guys are the legacy family. Y'all the legacy. So keep it strong, all right? We're gonna talk to y'all. Just take it, y'all move around.
Come in. I go. Let's put me here on. I do it. She's good shopping. No. Yeah. I
It's them like music job.
Anybody else have a lunch? They
So we got 45 minutes, bro.
I can do without it. Let me see if it's
Here, Barbara. Might go read Oh.
I want you to walk around and find you a book. Okay? It don't matter if you work, whatever. Walk around and find a book.
They actually do that.
Oh,
Oh, typing.
so let's walk around and find a book. Interesting. Like, not even more artists, like, but with someone that just, y'all feel the same way?
What's actually, like deer in the headlights? Huh? So what's your actual, what do you think? Huh? Cars? You know what I mean? What's your, you know what I mean? What's your,
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, you can't touch roots. Do you touch roots? It's a fruit. Do you know how much it fits? Man, no. What? Far right over.
Rise up, it's a brand new day. Learning and leading the righteous way. Hearts full of purpose, minds that shine. Building the future, one step at a time. Educate the mind, enlighten the soul, encourage the dream, empower the goal. From the classroom to the world, we stand tall. Ghatk, one vision for all. Educate, hey. Enlighten, encourage, hey. Empower, hey. Ghatk, we rise today. Educate, hey. Enlighten, encourage, hey. Empower. Ghatk, we rise today. Ghatk.
See, I know someone who's much higher, 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 higher. Oh yeah, I know someone who's much higher, 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 higher. Yeah, I know someone who's much higher, 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 higher. When I seen Rome prospering wherever they go, I envied the wicked so much that my feet were gone. But now I hold on to someone I know is strong. He my rock and fortress. I put my trust in Yahweh. Then you and me, that the whole world can see. Oh yeah, my King here, he protect us all, and he heard my call. No, yeah, Yahweh is higher. Is he Yah man to where he gotta lie? Is his ear heavy to where he cannot save. Cast your burdens down and give them to Yahweh. He much than you and me, that the whole world can see. Oh, Yahweh, he protect us all, and he heard my call. No, yeah, Yahweh, I used to worry about if my bills get paid. I used to worry about all of my enemies. I used to worry about if my friends would stay. But now I take my problems and give them to Yahweh. He much than you and me, that the whole world can see. No, my King gives, he protects us all, and he heard my call. Yeah, Yahweh is higher. I used to
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Benjamin?
And Yame will be asking us, and then we'll open up the floor if anybody else has questions. Like we said, we are live. We do have people who are coming and viewing us virtually. Different. We did this in 3 stages, right? Elementary, middle school, and high school. So we have a virtual. My school is virtual, so I have virtual high schoolers that are actually watching live now, participating. And that will also some may ask questions online. So so to include everybody, this is part of what we do. We open up with some questions and just so y'all can understand why we do what we do. All right, and y'all next. And this is Brother Omar.
Hi, Brother Omar. Okay. Why did you start the book fair for our types of schools and independent schools?
Okay. Um, so one of the reasons why I decided to do a book fair and then brought it to my school and spoke with my staff and my administration. So we decided to actually move forward with doing a book fair for independent schools because one thing I knew that wasn't happening for independent schools was book fairs. Like I went to public school as a child. I went to an independent school very young, but as I got older, I went to public school and they always had book fairs where they would come in with thousands of books for students to roam and buy books. And I know when my older children went to an independent school, we didn't have it then either. So when school started this year, I said, you know what? I want to do a book fair. I want to have something where our children who are independent schools, home schools, private schools that are Black owned has the opportunity to buy books and read more books, like in their hands. And now a lot of things are digital now. Like I have books that I read in my hand and I have digital books. But a lot of times, most people now are doing more digital. But we want to get back to the actual holding your book because there's just a different type of comfort and just, I guess I'm trying to figure out the word. It's just a different type of vibe that you get when you're holding the book actually and reading it. And it's just healthier. You know, reading your book on your phone or your computer all the time, it starts to ruin your eyes. You know, you get headaches, and then that just means you're on more screen time than you need to be, right? So the other reason why we did the book fair is because around the world, our children have literacy issues. Literacy is a big problem in education. And it's important for me and our school and Mama Allende, you know, and all the other independent schools that our children are proficient in reading and literacy. Because reading, you have to know how to read to do math problems. You have to know how to read to be a part of your ELA class. Even in music class, you have to learn how to read music, right? So literacy is a bigger thing than just picking up a book and say, hey, I read a book, so I have literacy. It goes beyond that. And then the other part was I wanted to do a book fair, but the biggest challenge was finding a Black bookstore, right? Because we can go to any other bookstore and not really have us represented. But to go to a Black bookstore, we know we're going to be represented. And so I looked at other ones and then I spoke with my cousin Ayenda, and she was like, I know a bookstore. Brother Omar has a bookstore. So now we're here at the Listening Tree. And so that's how that all came to fruition.
And when we built the listening tree, y'all, we built it so that we could support schools like GHATK, like TSK. Y'all follow me? Because we understood that there were so many books out there that never addressed the real issue that's really happening in our communities, right? So what that does is that makes you uninterested. I know when it's not addressing the stuff that's important, I know I ain't really interested. It don't float my boat, right? And I know that for myself, and I also know that for you guys. And so when things actually address you and who you are and where you come from, it becomes so much more interesting. And so that's why we built the listening tree, to be that kind of support, right, to education that's happening at places like GHATK and TSK. Y'all follow me?
Yeah.
And so we agreed to the book fair because, like she said, it pushes real thinking, right? How many of y'all ever sit down and think and you hear people talk and they're saying things that to you don't matter. I mean, y'all ever had that before, right? Right. And so a lot of times you kind of turn those people off, don't you? Right. But it's nice sometimes when somebody would just take the time and pay attention to you. And so that's the space that you're in right now. And so that's why we chose to do the book fair together here for you guys.
Why'd you name it the listening tree?
Oh, that's good. That's a good question. So it's named the listening tree because originally, believe it or not, there's a saying that says that George Washington chopped down a cherry tree, right? And what that means is what that's referring to. He's chopping down the power of Black culture ruling the world. That's what that meant. So originally we were going to name it the cherry tree because we are going to plant a cherry tree, and guess what? Bring some power back to our community. That makes sense?
Yeah.
But when I went online to check and see cherry tree, guess what?
It
There's a million businesses with cherry tree. Right. So me and my wife, we brewed some coffee and we sat down, we went through a lot of names. And we came to the listening tree because it agreed with our tradition of delivering our oral tradition of sitting at the baobab tree and putting the families around it and actually telling the stories under the tree in the oral tradition where we come from on the continent of Africa. And so that's where it really came from. So the listening tree is really that tree, kind of like any of y'all ever seen Avatar?
Yes.
So kind of like home tree. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Where you come and you go get the knowledge and you go get the reservoir of what's in your community at all times, and it's super duper strong and send you out the right way. So that's why we came up with that name. And if you look at the hands, I don't know if y'all see the do me a favor, pull that up, y'all. Pull that up. I'm gonna tell you one more thing. I got you. Say left, right here. So y'all see that brown child right there, right? And you see those hands, right? Those hands are protecting that child so that child can bear fruit. Are you following me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But the truth of the matter is, if you touch that brown child, you're gonna get these hands.
Right.
Are you understanding?
Yeah.
It's like that. So that's where it's at.
Nice.
Did any of y'all make your own books? Did you author?
No, I have not authored a book. I won't say, yeah, I have not authored. I have started to write an autobiography about my life, about growing up in the Black Power movement, but I haven't finished because it is a heavy load to just put it on paper.
Mhm.
But I have helped others, with different parts of the book and writing in it or just helping them to edit it, proofread it, things like that.
And yes. So it started. Y'all pass me that book right there, A World of Our Own, the beginning. So it started out. My wife and I wrote this book right here. It's called A World of Our Own, the beginning. It is about the first 7 days of God's creation. And who y'all think that is on the front? Come on, he said me. That's right. Say it loud. He said me, right? You made in God's image, aren't you? Right? So that's God on the front. Does that make sense? And so we put the picture according to what the word actually says. It says he had feet like bronze and hair like lamb's wool. Do you know any other people who have hair like lamb's wool? Anybody? Right. Exactly. So we put them on there. And so this is the book we wrote 14 years ago. And it was for our 6-year-old's book report. At the time, he's now 18. And so this is what started. We sold like tens of thousands of copies just by putting it online.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why do you think reading is important for children?
I think reading is important for children. One, because it gives you a different view of the world, of somebody else's view. So when you pick up a book, whether it's fiction, documentary, nonfiction, or even a comic, when you're reading it, you can imagine exactly what you're reading, especially if it doesn't have pictures. I know when I was a teenager, I would literally sit in my room. I could say from the age of 15 to 17 and just read books But as I'm reading, I would have a whole vision of what I just read. You know, whether it was whatever, it didn't matter what type of book it was. It just opened up my mind to see other things and to just kind of like almost you almost kind of like go into another world too when you read a book.
Yeah.
So some people, you know, I know some people read for coping. If they're sad, if they're, you know, depressed, they'll get a book and read because they need to go into another existence in some ways. And a lot of times that's what books do to you. And so for me, I want children to read so that they can understand that there's more than just right here at this moment, right? What you see or what's right in front of you, basically. You know, it's more out there in the world. And then reading helps you comprehend that, to see it in a different way, and to especially reading books by our people, because it's like we all know that we're all the same color, but we all have had different experiences. And so when you read that, then you can understand, oh, you know what, my experience is it's unique, but hey, they had a similar experience and this is how they deal with it. Sometimes, you know, you can read and even gather a way for you to be able to deal with whatever you may be dealing with, or just read for enjoyment.
Saying to me, what I would say to you is reading gives you perspective, right? It gives you different perspectives, so that when you sit down and think and deliberate on things, you might be trying to make a decision, you can critically think and come to a better decision that's best for you, right? And you can also maybe understand other people who you've never met, right? So all of these things is what reading does. It really kind of opens your mind up, and it gives you a chance to kind of see what maybe somebody else think against what you think, right? And so what I like to say is that it develops critical thinking, right? So that you can come to real conclusions that really help you, that really put you in a position of power, right? And a lot of times people are looking for that power, but you can't have it unless you read. Does that make sense? Like it never happens. You'll never have real power unless you take the time to study and understand the whole world, all levels of it, right? And reading is the thing that helps you do that, right? In all subject matter.
What types of books did y'all read growing up? Y'all still actually read like as adults?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So growing up, growing up, I read fictional books that had nothing to do with my reality. I read books about white people. I mean, I did because I just like to read anything.
Yeah.
You know, because I was just that type where I'm like, oh, I just want to read this. And part of reading those stories kind of just helped me to go into another world, because it's like, oh, this is how they see the world.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And it gave me that perspective because I didn't grow up around white people. I grew up very Black, very militant, very in the midst of my people. So that gave me a different perspective of how they view their lives, how they view us. I can't even think. It was a whole chapter series books I used to read, but I can't think of the title. But then I also read, like, you know, the autobiography of Malcolm X. I also read what's that? When Things Fall Apart. I also read the autobiography of Asada Shakur. You know, that was like my favorite book in all my life, and it was autographed by her. And then somebody took it out my house with their 5 fingers, and so I never saw it again. But I did repurchase it here the other day, so I'm happy about that. So I'm going to reread her book. And then I'm trying to think of other books. Of course, as an adult, I've read 1148 Lewis Street, about Mama Tamu. I've read, my father and my uncles wrote a book called Look for Me in the Whirlwind, and that's about the Panther 21. And because both my parents were Panthers, I've read a bunch of books by different, you know, Black activists. Like, that was part of actually our training as children. Mama Yenda can tell you, we had to read books by activists so that we could understand, you know, what was going on, not just from our parents' perspective, but from the different activists around the world, not just in the Black movement here in America, but around the world. So we were taught about, you know, Che Guevara, Fidel Castro, all those phenomenal people who did so much, not just for their country, but for our people as well. So that's the importance about reading a book too, because like I said earlier, you learn about the different cultures. And then you can also see how they're so connected to who we are.
Yeah.
You know, and if you close your mind off to doing that, then you won't know that. And then when you go out in the world, you kind of, it's going to be like a shell shock to you.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So for me, yeah, I've been reading for a long time, right? So back when we were elementary, like what you said, we had a contest where you would get, so Pizza Hut, y'all know
Yes.
Pizza Hut, right?
Oh, I remember that.
So Pizza Hut,
Yes.
Pizza Hut had this contest where if you read a certain amount of books, you got a little booklet and you get a bunch of personal pan pizza.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've always been about winning. You follow me? So, and it don't matter what it is, no matter basketball, football, bowling, doesn't matter. You follow me? I just want to win. Okay. So I did the contest, and so I would always read, loads of books, Clifford and the Big Red Dog,
Right.
Berenstain Bears, and Judy Blume,
Curious George.
right, Curious George, all these different books, but all of the books, after reading them, you start to get perspective. Now, when I got to 7th grade, I read the autobiography of Malcolm X. That was a life-changing book because it spoke to me, right? So of all the books that I had read for this pizza, none of them had ever spoke to me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
None of them ever said, this is about you.
Right.
But when I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, I felt like, yeah, this was actually for me, right? And then right behind that, I read the biography of Martin Luther King. So it gave me real perspective. I knew that I would never have marched, if that makes sense. I was sure that I would have been somebody who did the kind of work that put our people in power, not at the mercy of other people. Does that make sense? And so, but I'm not saying anything about anybody who did because I appreciate it. That makes sense? But it helped me see me, if that makes sense. And then I started reading all kinds of stuff, okay? But you said, do we still read as adults? I want to tell you what books I've read as an adult that I would really recommend to all of you, right? One is called Destruction of Black Civilization by
Amy Schuster?
no, that's
Chancellor Williams.
Chancellor Williams. So Chancellor Williams, Destruction of Black Civilization, ISIS Papers, by shoot. I'm forgetting the authors. Frances Cress Welsing, by Sister Frances Cress Welsing.
Yeah.
You mentioned Things Fall Apart, Chinua Achebe, right? What was another critical book that really means something to me?
You said the
Malcolm, right? But I've also, and I'm gonna be real with you, I've also read the Bible cover to cover. It's an important book. It's a book that everybody talks about, but they never read. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that again. It's a book that everybody talks about, but they never read. And so what happens is people stand up in front of people and they give sermons about the little bit that they read. But if you would read the whole thing, you would know that a lot of people don't read the whole book.
Right.
Does that make sense to y'all? And so I've read that over and over again. So I read, and it's a new one that I read just recently. And it's called The Garden Within. It's a very, very new book, but very, very good book to the soul to understand self. Right. And so as far as reading goes, I read every day. If you see, y'all see all these books in here, I've read every one of them from cover to cover. The ones that are 300 pages and the ones that are 30 pages. Are you following me? I read books from cover to cover that I did not accept into this bookstore. Right? Why? Because like I told you, you don't understand unless you study. Does that make sense, y'all?
Yeah.
So you gotta understand others if you ever want life to go the way you want it to go. And so as an adult, I read profusely. I won't lie to you. As I go, I journal every night. I read and I write. I write poetry. I write rhymes. I write. Does that make sense?
Do you publish writing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where? Like,
So you have to copyright it. So okay. So I'll tell you one that I wrote for my children. They've been saying their whole life, right? All right, y'all ready? There is a man, a simple man, who never sleeps a wink. He rules the world of boys and girls, but at night he needs a drink. His conscience seared with a trail of tears, but he loves the rotten fruit of bringing disease across the seas to prove that he's a brute. He's insecure, so far from pure, he'll never know the way. The fire in front and the one behind, he roams all night and day. There's glory he wants. Oof. Ooh, I lost it. Hold on a minute. There's glory he wants. Oh, let me start over. There is a man, a simple man, who never sleeps a wink. He rules the world of boys and girls, but at night he needs a drink. His conscience seared with a trail of tears, but he loves the rotten fruit of bringing disease across the seas to prove that he's a brute. He's insecure, so far from pure, he'll never know the way. The fire in front and the one behind, he roams all night and day. But it's glory he wants, and so he flaunts his trickery for all. He says, "Follow me and just agree, or I'm going to make you fall." He's the author of lies, the commander of spies, a counterintelligence pro. He hides the truth from all the youth that he's always been their foe. You were born free. No one controls you. Believe it or not, you have a choice in all that you do. Circumstances may seem to control you, but it's all point of view. Recognize evil and never agree with someone who says they're your friend, then acts as your enemy. Evil says, love your enemies and hate your past. Wait on someone else to save you at last. Obey the Antichrist and learn his ways, and then preach prophecy in the end of days. My prayer is that the God in you will truly shine through. Look yourself in the mirror. You are the only you. When you recognize a liar, never listen again. If you lay your head in the lap of a man with a noose, who's committing the sin? God gave us everything we need, but someone killed your ancestors and forbade you to read.
That was great. Have I know that you said that you read 1148 Blue Street. Have you read it, brother Omar?
Which one?
1148 Blue Street by Mama Samu.
I've never seen that. I've never even heard of that one.
You should read it.
I gotta check that
You
one out.
should read it. You should definitely read it.
So their school, TSK, is named after Tamu Sane Kanyama,
Yeah.
which is Mama Allende's mother. But she was also she was also a revolutionary. She was part of the RNA 11, and her husband, and of course 9 other people. So the 1148 Lewis Street is actually an address where it was raided by the police and the FBI and CIA in Mississippi, in Jackson, Mississippi. And so 1148 Lewis Street is a compilation. It was a story. It's the history of what happened there.
Oh, wow.
In her words. And Mama Tamu just recently ascended, to the other side. And so it's important that we're grateful actually that she was able to write. It's her second book.
Yeah.
To write her book. So we'll make sure that, I'll make sure
The closest I've gotten to that story is Asada, her autobiography, and Soledad Brothers.
Oh yeah,
Those two to me was connected.
Yeah. So that 1148 Lewis Street will be a great book to have in here. So I'll make sure that you get one sent to you. And but yeah, that's one of the beautiful things about who Mama Tamu was. Her words are so inspiring. Who she, her regalness, everything is represented in that book. Like the way the book is even presented is presented like if you know her, you're reading it like as if it's her. Yeah.
That's good. Hey, that sounds interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about adding books like Things Fall Apart, the autobiography of Malcolm X, and stuff like that in the book fair?
They're here.
They are?
So they're not physically here now, but they are on our roster.
Okay.
So if you go online and look them up, there they are. The Things Fall Apart, I haven't added. It's one of my favorite books. I read like all 3 books in like 4 days. Okay. Because Things Fall Apart, and there's like 2 other books after. It was like a 3-book series. And but I hadn't put it in here because I think it's a deconstruction that if you don't know construction can leave you stuck, in my opinion, right? Can leave you stuck and not be able to construct what works, if that makes sense. So I think that I think that that's a book that needs to be read after you understand mathematics, after you understand language, after you understand what things build. I think that after you understand what builds, you can deconstruct and read something like Chinua Achebe, because that's one of the most incredible books I ever read. Right. But it scared me to have my son read it before he was 18. If that, I don't know if that makes sense to y'all.
How old
Right.
is he?
He just turned 18. He ended up, stealing it off the shelf at about 14.
I read,
So he still ended up seeing.
I read that book when I was like, I think 13 or
Yeah.
12.
Yeah, same around the same age. Yeah. So, but I know it's incredible, right? But maybe I'm wrong, right? But my concern was that it was a deconstruction of something that actually was good, if that makes sense. I don't even know. I don't even know if you follow what I'm trying to say.
Well, I was about to say, I think the perspective more is when it just kind of depends on what environment you are in when you read that book. So, like for students that go to TSK or Colombo or GHATK or other like Marcus Garvey, out of New York, all those schools, they basically, the education is, that's the foundation of the education, is the movement, is the truth. So when they read those books, they're already, in some ways you could say, leveled out to understand it. And I was actually having this conversation yesterday about when we come for in front of our children, a lot of times we may speak to them as if they don't know, but a lot of times because that's what is shown, that our children don't know. And if they're in the public school system, majority of them don't know. And so for a book like Things Fall Apart to be in a public school system, I could definitely see, where that would be, because it's not on the children. It's the parents. If the parents aren't teaching their children certain things, then they won't know. And so then if, like for us, our children are placed, on purpose in these type of facilities so that our children can get that education early versus wait until later, and then them having a more confused conversation.
Looking back on it.
Right. And we're able to help them to kind of, like you said, right, it's a to reconstruct the narrative that was there so they can understand why that's there, because you have to have both. And
that's, I totally agree. Like, so I learned from that and the truth, because that's what happened. He ended up reading it, and then he picked up a lot of books that I had pretty much said, hey, hold on, son.
Oh, yeah.
Don't read. So I agree. And that's exactly the point. But yes, they are here, right? You just pop online, go to listeningtreebooks.com, search that book, it'll be there.
We actually ordered their books 3 years ago, the books that they're reading at TSK.
From
here.
Real talk.
Things Fall Apart was ordered from here.
See, and then we got Miseducation of the Negro, right? Carter G. Woodson. We got a lot of them that you need to understand. I think the challenge sometimes is that we need some books that actually build. Right. We need some books that actually say, this is how you put this brick here. This is how you layer up these bricks so that it can actually work. Because work is important to make sure that you have a defense against deconstruction. You see. Yeah.
Do your students read books like that in the community?
Yes. So our students, because they're virtual, we do, like, their educator has them reading, I can't even think. But yes, they do read books in that nature. Between the social studies teacher and their literary teacher, a lot of their books are African or New African based, because we want them to understand that, even though, because I know because our school is a foundation of Hebrew, right? That a lot of times people separate religion and culture, but in our school we bring it all together, because all of it is one. It all started in one place. We've just been separated by the colonizers and slavery or enslavement, and so now for me, because my foundation is New African and Black Power movement, I've brought a whole different perspective to the Hebrew community. And with my school, That's what I bring. I bring who I am.
Yeah.
And I don't teach just from the Bible as people would prefer, because we're bigger than that, our history in the Bible, because that's a historical volume. That's a historical book. It's not the end is, I mean, it's not the whole story,
Yeah.
but it is a foundation. And so we have to build on it and look at it. He brought it up earlier. It's like a blueprint too. So what I do is I take that book, and we read only from the Old Testament. So I take that book, right? And we involve who we are now, who we were 60 years ago, 100 years ago, so that they can understand it's a progression. It doesn't stop because we call ourselves by different names or different ways of life. The struggle is the struggle, no matter what we decide to be tomorrow or what we decided to be yesterday. So we have to educate our children. And my major goal, and why I love independent schools, is because if Mama Ayenda and I decided, and Mama Tashia decided, hey, you know what, we want to have a debate team.
Yeah.
And we want our children to be able to go out and debate against children in Europe somewhere, right?
Mhm.
Or in Cuba or in Africa, wherever, you all have to have that knowledge.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what happened is, and this is, and we're going to always say this, but in the public school system, we're not getting that.
That's right.
We can't say, I can't get a group of children and say, you know what, we're going to put you on this debate team. Unless you go to a high-end private school that's normally foundationally European, then our schools aren't teaching our children to be able to be established and challenged across the world. And so our goal is to be able to make sure each one of you can get up. If you decide to go to Africa tomorrow, you have a knowledge, you have a foundation that you go over there, you're not lost.
Yeah.
If you decide to go to Cuba, you're not lost. If you decide to go to Israel, you're not lost, because you have a foundation of history that you've been taught. And so for us, that's always the challenge for us, to make sure that we are establishing that, to make sure that you all are learning that and we can see it and okay, you know what, we're doing our job. We are maintaining, we're passing on this legacy, we're carrying on the traditions of our ancestors, not just those that recently passed, but that have passed hundreds of years before us. And so for us at GHATK, yes, we teach the broadness of it, because it's not I don't like when I see people just kind of put everything in a box. Like, okay, this is who we are and that's it. That's impossible.
Come on.
It's very impossible, especially because we have traveled, in chains in so many different places.
Yeah.
That means we are a mass of all type of different things that we've gathered, right? We've gathered throughout the seas. So, because I could find I have cousins in Colombia that I never met, in Panama, because of the separations, right?
Mhm.
And one thing that in our way of life is, the Most High said he's going to scatter you. And he scattered us. So he didn't scatter us by families. You were scattered just by being dispersed. And if we know the history, and I know y'all know, when the colonizers came, they didn't say, okay, you know what, Naomi,
And Yami?
in Yame, we're going to take your whole family together and place y'all here. They didn't do that. They picked different ones out your family and say, y'all going to go here, y'all going to go there. So it's like they separated you, but that means you got family over in China that you don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's the other part about these independent schools. We teach that understanding so that you can now say, you know what, those are our brothers and sisters. Those are our cousins. How do we gather that back so we can relate to them better and not let the United States of America dictate who we are to one another?
It's interesting what we're talking about, because there's a science behind family, right? We talk about loving each other, right? And yet we all different, right? So one of the biggest things is just understanding family and living by it. And then taking those same ideas and then living by the idea of community. A lot of us, when we talk about community, we understand community at a level, but we don't go to the higher levels that will give us real power to grow our community, right? So there are specific things that put us in place to do things the way we want to do them, right? But that takes learning. That takes again, study. It takes us to know what it means. Like, so for example, what Princess Madai was just saying about family, right? If you look at families that stick together, they generally create a legacy. And it's a general thing, right? But if the ones who really understand it, they create long legacies of what they planted in their family very early. That makes sense? And then by the same token, a lot of times we talk about different communities. So in America, we have several different communities, right? You have the Asian community, you have the white community, you have the Indian community, you have the Mexican community, and then you also have what? The black community, right? And the black community is not necessarily what we think it is, right? And then the question is, what does that really mean? What does community mean? Well, community literally says that you have similar rights and interests, that you have joint possessions, right? And that you have full participation by those who are there. So if you don't have those three things, guess what you don't have?
A community.
A community. But how would you know that unless somebody let you know what that means?
Mm-hmm.
Are you hearing what I'm trying to tell y'all? So this is what we have to understand. This is what we have to lock in on. These are the things that we have to grow under. But when we do it, now we thrive, right? So just think about it. If you jump up, what happens? You come back down. Why is that? Gravity, right? If I take this here and I lift it up, did it move? Right? So that's because of force, right? Like, so all of these things are science that work for us or work against us, but it's science that's always operating, right? So no sooner you understand it, you can use it and apply it, right? But what if you never study it? What if you never take the time to understand that electricity is based on a source, amperage, and two terminals? Are you understanding me?
Yes.
Right? See, if you didn't understand that, guess what? You couldn't apply electricity. Right? So all of these different things we have to come to the knowledge of and use it what? To our good. And when you do that, guess what happens? You create something that the world needs. And you know what happens when you create something that the world needs? They pay for it. And that empowers us, empowers our community, and all this creativity, all this invention that we have, all this space and all these different things that we have in our community. Now we have a structure to put it into and control it, right? And that's where it becomes totally important for us to know these things, right? And like she said, no two of us are the same. That's a good thing. You follow me? It's a good thing. All of our perspectives ain't the same. We ain't never going to agree 100%. But that's so good. You know why? Because if we keep loving each other, what we find out is that one way might be better than the other. And we got to submit to what's right, not whether, like a lot of people walk around life and you argue with people because you want to be right. Are you following me? Yeah. But the truth is, what's right is a lot more important than being right. Right. So how many of y'all know geometry? Everybody know geometry? Right. So in geometry, what if I say to you, there's a right angle, right? That right angle allows this building to stand up, doesn't it? Now, what if I built it at 92 degrees? What would happen to the building? It would fall and it would lean the higher it goes up, wouldn't it? Yeah. Right. So would it matter if I'm right? Nah. The only thing that matters is that you build the building at a 90-degree angle, perpendicular to the surface. Does that make sense? Yes. So if you're able to do that, guess what? You empower the building to keep standing so you can keep walking in and out of it. So us being right don't mean a doggone thing. We just got to figure out what's right and what actually works for us. Make sense? Yeah. Okay.
What's one of your favorite books in here?
That's so hard. You're asking the hardest questions ever. So probably my favorite book, of course, I like the one that I wrote for young people because I want you to always get the right view of God, right? Because there's a picture that's constantly showing that gives you the wrong idea of what God would look like. Okay. But my favorite and absolute favorite is the Bible, right? And right next to that is the destruction of Black civilization, because that one shows what was and how we got here. It's a very slow read. You got to have a dictionary when you read it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of stuff you got to do to understand what he's saying. And so when you do that, when you really study our scholars, they lift you up. Like, we got a reservoir of scholarship that if we just study what was already written, oh, you'd be phenomenal at everything you do. But for me, my absolute favorite book, like I said, the Bible, but right next to it is Destruction of Black Civilization. I think they couple real good,
Yeah.
because you see the construction and deconstruction, and you're able to piece it back together.
What's yours?
Well, I said earlier the autobiography of Assata Shakur. It's definitely my favorite because she got to tell her story, you know. And as a young woman, when I read it as a teenager, even though, like I said, I grew up in the movement, it empowered me in a whole different way to actually hear everything she went through and to see that she survived, and not only survived as a woman, but as a mother, as a revolutionary, you know, as a woman, as a freedom fighter,
Yeah.
you know, all the things she went through, and she was able to actually come back and write it down so that we would know it, that we could feel what she went through and understand the importance of her liberation, you know, because that's the other part. You know, the media will tell us that she escaped, but she was liberated. So it was important for her to be able to say those words, and the way it impacted me, where I felt even stronger than I already was. Where I was like, oh yeah, I could stand up even taller than I'm only 5'2", but I'm like 7 feet now. You know what I'm saying? Because of her victory, because of her strength, because she was able to say, I'm not afraid of y'all, and I'm not gonna back down, and I'm gonna stand strong, and I'm gonna write my story, and I'm gonna tell the truth. So that the truth will be told and not the lies that they want us to believe, right? And what was even more phenomenal for me was when I was 17. Also, I went to Cuba and I got to actually meet her, and I got to actually sit with her. And I was like trying to talk to her, and she was like, "No, just tell me about you. How's life as a 17-year-old, and what are you doing?" You know, and that was just beautiful to be able to just have that like candid conversation with her, you know, and to have that moment, and to actually say, you know what, because the crazy thing is, and Mama Ayenda can attest to this. We grew up in it, so all these people to us are like aunties or uncles. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to sit there and be like, okay, I got to hug my aunt, who for years, because she's been in exile, and you know she had to liberate and leave. You just hear like your auntie's over there, she's doing good, but to go and actually touch her and hug her was important. My second favorite now, and of course, all my life I heard the story of the RNA 11, but 1148 Lewis Street, because another strong book of truth of another Black powerful woman who I grew up going to her house every Kwanzaa, who I grew up being able to hug and kiss and reading the book, because to hear the stories is one thing, but when you read the book from their words, it's a whole nother way that it impacts your mind, it impacts your heart, because it gives you a whole different type of compassion for the fight for our people. And so that's why those two are mine. Yeah. What's your favorite book?
My favorite book, what is it called? It's called When Stars Are Scattered. It's about these two refugees that actually were.
Okay.
Refugee boys, they're brothers, and they were stuck in a camp, those refugee camps, and they were trying to meet their dads and their dad and their mom, because they got taken apart from them, and they were only left with their refugee camp grandma.
Right.
Yeah, and so they one boy, I forgot his name, but he wanted to go to school, and his younger brother, he wasn't really like, really capable of doing much. Like he relied on his brother a lot, and so that was really hard for him to go to school with his brother, like that. Yeah, and so he went to school. He learned a lot, and then he got like what is it called? A scholarship to go to school in America.
Okay.
And they both went, him and his brother.
Okay.
And from that, they were on a mission to meet their family again and to explore America. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I like that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
much appreciated.
Did anybody else have a question? Okay. All right.
So
Thank you so much.
yeah, so this is great. Appreciate it.
So we're gonna take like a 10-minute break so that if anybody needs to use the bathroom, get up and stretch.
Yeah.
We can open the door, have some fresh air, and then we'll get started with the next presentation, okay?
Okay.
Oh, my bad.
Appreciate it. It was a great question. Wonderful question. Oh, holy. Go. Money's there for you. You guys can white boy thing.
Oh, you got the mic?
Look at those, so you can't put it. I've been looking for now.
Hearts full of purpose, minds that shine. Building the future, one step at a time. Educate the mind, enlighten the soul, encourage the dream, empower the goal. From the classroom to the world, we stand tall. Ghatk, one vision for all. Educate, enlighten, encourage, empower. Ghatk, we rise today. Enlighten, encourage, empower. Ghatk, we rise today. Ghatk, educate, enlighten, encourage, empower. Rise up, it's a brand new day. Learning and leading the righteous way. Hearts full of purpose, minds that shine. Building the future, one step at a time. Educate the mind, enlighten the soul, encourage the dream, empower the goal. From the classroom to the world, we stand tall. Ghatk, one vision for all. Educate, enlighten, encourage, empower. Ghatk, we rise today. Enlighten, encourage, empower. Ghatk, we rise today. Ghatk, educate, enlighten, encourage, empower. Rise up, it's a brand new day. Learning and leading the righteous way. Hearts full of purpose, minds that shine. Building the future, one step at a time. Educate the mind, enlighten the soul, encourage the dream, empower the goal. From the classroom to the world, we stand tall. Ghatk, one vision for all. Educate, enlighten, encourage, empower. Ghatk, we rise today. Enlighten, encourage, empower. Ghatk, we rise today. Ghatk, educate, enlighten, encourage, empower. Rise up, it's a brand new day. Learning and leading the righteous way. Hearts full of purpose, minds that shine. Building the future, one step at a time.
Hey y'all, so many people ask, what is GHATK? First, GHATK stands for Goshen Hebrew Academy at Temple Kipharim. We are a virtual learning school. We are a private cultural school. Many people wonder why we started GHATK. We started GHATK to give an alternative to a public school education. Our mission is to empower, enlighten, and encourage our students to have a successful life. Our goal is to make sure that each student walks away with their diploma ready to take over the world. We also focus on growth, creativity, and we focus on the healing and the health of our students. So if you're looking for a place for your child to feel enriched, empowered, encouraged, and enlightened, join us, GHATK. Enroll today. Hey y'all. So this is the day in the life of a principal and co-founder. I am here this rising. They are actually bringing our building today. Y'all see me, I'm on my land where we house the school building. I'm going to allow y'all to see this is what they're doing today. We are installing our building. It's called Vision to Village. And so, as they continue to do this is going to take probably a few hours, you know. I may not get every step, but hey, we're going to get as much as possible just so you all can see the vision, see the work from the ground up. That's the other side of our building that I took video of earlier. And basically, this is the side that they already put where we want it to be. They placed it on the bricks, the stabilizing. But once they put it together, we'll walk through so you all can see the finished product. Here we go.
Follow us for updates on the process of building a school from the ground up. And share this with someone who should see it. Thank you. Hey y'all. Welcome back to Vision to Village, where we're making our ancestors' wildest dreams a reality. Here's a sneak peek at what we have going on in here. I'm so excited to see it all coming together. We've got 1 office, 5 classrooms, and 2 bathrooms. There's so much work to be done. This is definitely a grassroots project. I can't wait to see everything come together. We love to hear your input. If you have any ideas, like paint colors or classroom designs, please share in the comments. Also, what did you want in your classroom growing up? This isn't just about our students. It's about the village. It's about all of us. Thank you for all your support.
GHATK, one vision for all. Educate, enlighten, encourage, empower. GHATK, we rise today. Enlighten, encourage, empower. GHA, we rise today. GHA, educate, enlighten, encourage. Empower. Rise up, it's a brand new day. Learning and leading the righteous way. Hearts full of purpose, minds that shine. Building the future, one step at a time. Educate the mind, enlighten the soul, encourage the dream, empower the goal. From the classroom to the world, we stand tall. GHATK, one vision for all. Educate, enlighten, encourage, empower. GHATK, we rise today. Enlighten, encourage, empower. GHA, we rise today. GHA, educate, enlighten, encourage, empower. the future, one step at a time. Educate the mind, enlighten the soul, encourage the dream, empower the goal. From the classroom to the world, we stand tall. Ghatk, one vision for all. Educate, hey. Enlighten, encourage, hey. Empower, hey. Ghatk, we rise today. Educate, hey. Enlighten, encourage, hey. Empower, Ghatk.
See, I know someone who's much higher, 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 higher. Oh yeah, I know someone who's much higher, 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 higher. Yeah, I know someone who's much higher, 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 higher. When I seen wrong prospering wherever they go, I envied the wicked so much that my feet were gone. But now I hold on to someone I know is strong. He my rock and fortress. I put my trust in Yahweh. Then you and me, that the whole world can see. Oh yeah, my King here, he protect us all, and he heard my call. No, yeah, Yahweh is higher. Is he Yah man to where he gotta lie? Is his ear heavy to where he will not hear? Is his arm shortened to where he cannot save? Cast your burdens down and give them to Yahweh. He much than you and me, that the whole world can see. Oh, Yahweh, he protect us all, and he heard my call. No, yeah, Yahweh, I used to worry about if my bills get paid. I used to worry about all of my enemies.
This is a story of a lady who was just done completely wrong by the world, but she never lost herself. She never lost herself, family. She was covered by the brothers in her community. She was broken out of prison after she had been shot and really abused while she was in that prison system. But you want to grab the autobiography of Assata Shakur. This is an important book to your library, and you want to make sure you have it forever, right? Don't loan this book out. If anybody ever tells you they want to borrow this book, tell them come to the listening tree and buy it for themselves, okay? It's important. Another one. We got to rewrite the narrative, y'all. This one is called Land and History. I told you, land, business, and tools, right? But this one is about y'all going to bus.
And I drive there every day.
I would too.
You can bring lunch?
Huh? I did. I didn't want more.
Oh.
I ain't had breakfast all week, Mama. You didn't have breakfast.
He said it. I didn't know. I mean, I'm right about these stuff.
I eat at 11. What you reading?
Omar.
Alright.
Where you gonna be at? Right here. No. Which one? The main camera is gonna be this one, right? So I'm gonna look directly here. You know. I'll be right here where you sit.
You guys spread out, and then y'all can't see them. We're gonna read the document and say, "Oh, I like it."
once we start.
I don't worry about it.
What's what
I
you-
think we put it, I just like Randy.
No, so,
Yeah, with a
oh, those.
golden zipper, like a polo shirt with a white. The ends are black. I didn't wear it when it was held for years. Or like, I didn't wear it. Literally, no. I put on my normal shoes, very neat, and I'm like,
I put on my normal jeans, my normal t-shirt, my normal.
you tried so hard, and you still don't.
I was reading while you fast. That's how you do it. You gotta live off words.
Chad wore it, Chad.
Like that, you gotta feed yourself. Feed yourself some knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You gotta distract yourself. I know, I'll be told something.
All right, you guys, we're gonna get started now.
Anyone still on the other side out there?
You see what I'm wearing right now?
My leg.
Exactly.
Are you sitting on top of your leg?
I can do it with my
We can do that.
Like our trick, or you build a
You
car
ready
out?
for one? Ready for one? I want it now.
It's always tough because if you get a little bit of wind gonna knock it out. We used to do
Hey,
it all
yo.
the time.
I know how to
Hey,
do it.
yo,
Always.
yo, it's such.
That's how you build.
It'd be over the 30.
You got somewhere to start. You gotta put them next to each other, so you can't get frustrated, man. That's the whole point. You gotta be patient.
Kwame.
We use this one, make sure this is live as well.
Oh, I do. Actually, it makes the one so low.
When it's ready, hit the live.
My phone is really not running off today.
I was
Weird.
essential.
All right.
Wait, pull that door up.
Wait.
Well, we've been talking all morning, haven't we? Huh? So y'all know who I am, but we're getting ready to talk about something a lot different than what we've been talking about all day, right? But it infuses everything we've been talking about. So I don't know, I want to make sure I introduce myself so y'all know, who you're really talking to. I grew up, man, in Pontiac, Michigan. Anybody from Michigan in here? No? All right, up top, Georgia, New York. Yeah, okay, cool. Right, so I grew up Pontiac, Michigan, and I played basketball, played football, point guard in basketball. I was a quarterback in football. Anybody ever played those sports? Anybody did that? Right. Okay, what about, I want some bowling championships. Anybody here know how to bowl? Right. So I did a lot of bowling. Believe it or not, I did some singing, did some rapping, right? Did a lot of stuff, right? And but I ended up going to college at Hampton University in Virginia. Anybody thinking about going there one day? No? You might want to think about it, right? So I went to college, Hampton University, and when I finished with electrical engineering. Okay, so that is my degree in science. It's a Bachelor of Science in Engineering. All right. And so when I got out into the world, even having all of this knowledge of math, science, things that I've already read, stuff that people taught me, it was super duper hard to deal with the way economics work in the world. I mean, obviously, now I don't know where you are, financially. Our parents are doing different things like that, but we were able to, buy a lot of stuff. We were able to do things even when I was growing up. But when it became my responsibility, I realized that I had never been shown what was necessary to do this stuff. Does that make sense to y'all? And I realized, said to myself, when you go through life all the way up to 18, your parents really shield you from the real hardness of the world. Do y'all understand that? Like, I don't even know if y'all really get what I'm trying to say to you. Right? A lot of what you're experiencing right now, your parents they're the shield to make sure that you have a life. Is that clear? But the truth is, nobody really cares. I want y'all to hear what I'm trying to say to you. Don't nobody really care about you, except your parents most of the time, or the administrators, or people like myself, or people who really want you to have better. But it's not a lot of people. Most people only care about themselves. Does that make sense to y'all? So when you get out here, you know how we sitting here and taking the time to tell you different things. When you get out into the world, people would just manipulate you to get the money out of your pocket. People would just manipulate you to get you to do something for them and waste your time until you figure out that what you've been doing has been a waste of time. Are y'all hearing me? Have y'all ever been in a situation where you felt like somebody wasted your time? Huh? Really think about what I'm saying, because as you get older, this is what I'm saying to you. But when you get out into America, there's a very specific challenge that everybody has right away. Right here. It's called finances. I mean, y'all right now, you already got $10,000 in the bank. If I got 10,000, about 20,000, about 30. Anybody 50, 100,000, 500,000, 1 million? Are y'all listening to me? So what I like to do is I like to give you a perspective so that you can start as a young person now and secure yourself and start to understand what's out there in the world so that it doesn't hit you as such a big surprise. Would y'all rather that than it just hit you in the face? Huh? So what I did was I created something called the Young Entrepreneurs Program, right? How many of y'all know what it means to be an entrepreneur? Right? Somebody tell me, what does it mean to be an entrepreneur?
Like own your own business.
That's right. Own your own business. Now, y'all do realize you're sitting inside of one of my businesses. Does that make sense? It's not my only business, but it's the one that really started things. It got things going. Does that make sense? And so you're learning from an entrepreneur how to be an entrepreneur. And why is it so important for me to say that to you? Because the country that you live in was built for business owners. Did you hear me? It's built for business owners. So it's a lot of benefits as soon as you own a business in America. So if you know that there's benefits, do you think you might want to own a business? Tell me the truth. Right. So, but there's not benefits, and there's a lot of consequences when you don't own a business. Okay? And it creates a lot of expenses, a lot of what's called liabilities. And so I want to take some time and show you kind of 5 different areas that's important to you. That I think will really help your life. How many of y'all have ever heard of the term net worth? Have you ever heard of that term? Right? What does net worth mean? Can anybody tell me that? Net worth?
Isn't it like all your assets? I guess the price of all your assets.
Go ahead.
Oh, you talking about net worth?
No. Keep going. Keep talking.
Yeah, net worth. Pretty much the price of all your assets added up to one price.
That's right. So he's you're half right, but your concept is right. Right? But you left one thing out. Net worth is your assets minus your liabilities. Right? So you have 2 things. You have assets and you have liabilities. When you put those both together, you have your net worth. Does that make sense, y'all? And so before I get deep into that, I want to break something down for you. How many of y'all have ever had this conversation where they tell you, and I'm telling you, it's a good conversation, but when you get older, you realize that there's more to the story. But have you ever heard the idea that, you got wants and you got needs? You ever hear that?
Yeah.
So generally what you want costs a lot of money, right? And generally what you need also what? Costs a lot of money. Did you know that both of them are liabilities? So you talked to me about assets, right? Assets are mechanisms that put money into your pocket. Did y'all hear me? Liabilities are mechanisms that take money out of your pocket. The key word is mechanism, right? So if I go to the ATM and pull money out, is the ATM money or is the ATM the mechanism that pushes the money out? It's the mechanism, right? So anytime you talk about business, you're building a mechanism that will produce income for you. Does that make sense to everybody? So you have to put the pieces together before the income actually comes to you. That's why building an asset takes time, right? But you can create a liability just by signing your name on the dotted line. Now see the difference?
Yes.
So do you realize there's people right now that go through life because challenges come, you can create a liability real easy by just getting a credit card, by just going to get a loan, by just going to get any type of loan that you get is literally a liability. Y'all say loan with me. So loan means you can pay it back with interest. And the interest that you pay on top of it is the interest of the person who loaned it to you. Is that clear? So do you want to be the lender or do you want to be the borrower? The lender, right? See, the reality is if you're not the lender, you're always working to pay somebody else. And do you know what that puts you right back in real quick? Slavery. Understand me? Slavery. Because the borrower is slave to the who? Lender. Because there are laws that make sure that you pay it back. Is that clear? So I'm going to talk to you about the kind of work that needs to be done so that you can be a person with the asset. So you can be a person who has enough to lend if you need to. Right? But all of that takes discipline. Y'all say discipline with it.
Discipline.
Notice a lot of the stuff that we're talking about today is about building. Right? How can I build a building if I ain't got no bricks? Oh, there we go. Huh? Well, if I ain't got no wood, well, how I build it then? Right, but that's the thing, right? The reality is you can build if you have the materials to do building. Is that right?
Yes.
But if you don't have the materials, how do you build? I love how y'all think, man. You get the materials, right? And so, and so that's what I'm gonna talk to you about today is how to get those materials. So this is what I did, you know. So it's 5 different areas. So this is a book I wrote. It's called the Young Entrepreneurs Program. Okay, Young Entrepreneurs Program is actually a curriculum that teaches you how to be an entrepreneur and develop real income in your life at your age. Like right now, today, how many of y'all saw some books that you said, you know what, I probably can't buy that because it costs too much? Maybe a couple, right? How many of y'all ever been in the mall or at a store or shopping online and you wanted something, but you didn't feel like you had the money to pay that price? Right? Now, here's what I want to tell you. That price is something you can always pay if you take the time to build your assets. Does that make sense? And so assets are mechanisms that put money where? Come on, talk to me. Assets are mechanisms that do what? And liabilities are mechanisms that do what? Take it out. That's so good. So here we go. And so when we put what's going into our pocket and what's coming out of our pocket all together, what does that add up to? What do we call that? Net worth, right? That's where you start. That's like your roadmap in finances. Y'all hear me? So after you figure out your net worth, guess what? There are assets are under contract, liabilities are also under contract. So liabilities produce expenses, where assets produce income. Y'all hear me? So we got income and expenses. Where do they come from? I just told you, explicit. Assets produce income. Liabilities produce expenses. Right? So assets put money where? And produce income. Liabilities take money out of your pocket and produce expenses. So expenses is your money going where? Out. I'll be listening. Income is your money doing what? Coming in. Why is that important? Because basically, notice, that's basic science, y'all. To up, there is a what? To in, there is an right. To right, there is a right. No matter how you look at it, you always have some type of duality, right? So anytime you have one, you automatically have what? Right? So if I take this, so for example, I got this one sheet right here, right? It has how many sides? At least, right? But there's a third one that we ain't talking about, ain't it? Right, so we got this side, and that side. Are y'all following me? So the reason why that's important to understand is because you're always looking at what's coming in and what's going out. And you want to develop a balance that you have more coming in than you have what? Going out. That makes sense? So like right now in your life, do you think you got more going out or more coming in? More going out. Yo, tell me why. Tell me why. Let's talk about that for a second. Why do you have more going out? What are these things that's going out? Talk to me. Let's talk about that stuff. What stuff? Clothes, shoes, fun with your friends, right? Try on Pinterest trying to figure out what else you want, right? What else?
I guess you could think of it as an investment, though. It's an investment to yourself. But investment gets money back. So
Y'all slide over here a little bit so we can see. Because I'm having trouble looking back at you. Y'all good spot. So let's make sure we understand. Do we have more going out? Do we have more coming in? Huh? Oh yeah, you got it. I see why you did that. That's my fault, man. My fault. Yeah. So bottom line is, you said we can look at it as an investment, right? Look at what as an investment. And what are those things? Because it's interesting what you're saying. Let's talk about it.
It's like you can't survive without food. So it's like you have certain things where it's like you can't just go home and get food. You're out. You gotta buy food.
Yeah.
But then there's also like certain costs that just they don't really affect it. They just kind of go along.
But now all these words have meanings, don't they? So what does it mean to make an investment?
So put some money into that you can get money back.
He said it perfectly. Right? If you make an investment, there's an expectation that you get a return. Does that make sense? Now, if you eat, there is a return. You get to stay alive. Okay? So that's not necessarily untrue, right? But when we talk about things in purely in financial sense, that means that you're making a financial investment in order to get what kind of return? A financial return. Does that make sense, y'all?
Yeah.
So you want to get the like return that you put in, right? And more of it than you put in there. So, we were talking about what's going on. What's your name? London. London started talking about her stuff. Anybody else want to talk about their stuff that's going out? Oh, y'all ain't telling the truth to me. Come on.
I buy like food, I buy like stuff and games and stuff.
Yeah. Food, games, right? Anybody else? Well, let's talk about it.
As of late,
huh?
It's more than food. I feel like sometimes, I feel like okay with food. I know you just said you're gonna live. You can't live without food. But I think sometimes when it comes down to it, it can be excessive. Like you're pouring all your money into food instead of like managing it.
Yeah.
And then also with just games, I feel like spending money on games, if they're not trying to take it nowhere, then you gotta find like an alternative. And it's to spend all your money on games, then you just sitting there. Now you have no money.
Yeah.
And then let's say you wanted to get food, now you can't get food. So I think you gotta just watch how you do stuff like that.
That's so good. All right, so go ahead. That's so good. Let's keep that in mind.
Like, but, when I buy clothes, I usually just like save somewhere.
So you resell the clothes that you've already had. The jeans.
No, not the clothes I already have. Like I buy new clothes.
Yeah.
And I keep half of it, and then I'll sell it.
Okay, and you actually get it returned. Somebody buying those clothes. That's solid. That's good. That's good thinking. Y'all hear that?
Yeah.
That's business ownership right there. He's learning how I would call that recycling. Right? Would you agree with me that you recycle what you already have and you go ahead and sell it?
Yeah.
Right? So what we talking about, y'all, is called financial literacy. Right? Remember earlier, Princess Medaya said that there's a lack of literacy in the community, right? But there are specific kinds of literacy that help you, right? But this particular kind of literacy we're talking about is called financial literacy. It's the ability to read and apply a financial statement, right? So I want to throw out some terms for you, right? But I want to show you a picture, right? What is this right here?
That's what they for, like Facebook.
It's a foundation, right? So when you get ready to build a house, you know the most important part of the house? The foundation. If you never lay the foundation, what's going to happen to the house? It's going to fall. Exactly right. And do y'all see people in the world? People in the world have different ability to do different things. Huh? You know what that's based on? The foundation. I know it sounds simple, but let's get to it. Financial literacy is literally your foundation for understanding, for what you're gonna do with your life, and for what you're gonna buy. What's your name? Like what Solomon was just explaining, you actually got to make decisions on what you spend your money on. right? And there's a science behind making a good decision versus making a bad one, right? So there are 5 terms. We already talked about 2 of them. One is assets and liabilities. The other is income and expenses. And the one I really want to talk to you about is called cash flow, right? Y'all say cash flow.
Cash flow.
So assets minus liabilities equals net worth, right? Income minus expenses equals cash flow. Are y'all hearing me? So generally, cash flow is how much money you have to use in the course of a month. How many of y'all got about $500 right now to use this month? Oh man, right? About 5,000, right? Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think you could have that?
Yeah, I got some money.
Right, but you got something, right? But you can take what you have now and turn it into even more, right? But cash flow is what you have left over after you pay your expenses. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something that I don't think you'll ever learn anywhere else. All right? When you get out into life, you have what's called expenses. They're static, right? You're gonna need a house, you're gonna need a car, you're gonna need a phone, you're gonna need food, you're gonna need clothes, right? All of these things produce monthly expenses for you. Does that make sense? What you have left over after you pay all of that stuff is called cash flow, right? Cash flow is your ability to grow your life. Do y'all know money? You ever hear somebody tell you money don't grow on trees? But guess what? Money does grow by a systematic way of investment. You hear me? You can grow money, right? But you grow money by putting more money into assets than you do into what? Come on. More into assets than we put it into liabilities, right? Now the reality is when you invest in your asset pays you more income. But when you invest in liabilities, those liabilities give you nothing. Are y'all with me? So 5 terms: assets, liabilities, income, expenses, cash flow. Right? So let's play a little game. Right? If I ask you which one you need to make sure you absolutely focus on for the rest of your life, which one do you think is the foundation of it all? What we say? Assets. Anybody else agree? Sometimes? Right. And so assets are the investment. Does that make sense? So before we get to the idea of investment, we need to know what we're investing in. That makes sense? And so what we invest in is called a what? I heard one person. What we invest in is called a what? Asset. I know y'all tired of hearing these words, but guess what? Until you understand this stuff, life gonna give you problems. You hear me? The majority of people, when they get up into life, a house costs $250,000. A car costs $50,000. A phone costs $1,200. Are y'all hearing me? Yes. So if you don't have roughly about $450,000 when you turn 18, you're gonna have a negative net worth. Do y'all understand that? Mm-hmm. So I'm telling you that right now, so you can get busy putting your life together. That's a wake up call. Anybody ever told you wake up in the morning? I'm telling you wake up, because nobody telling you how your money gonna be. All of this stuff costs money, and the most important thing you gotta understand is that you're more valuable than the money, but you gotta understand how to operate so that the money can keep coming into you. Is that clear? So, we said assets. What do assets produce? Income. That's right. Right? What about liabilities? What do liabilities produce? Expenses. And what's our monthly ability to empower ourselves? Cash flow. So which one do you think you feel the most? I don't know if you feel the asset is the liability. I wouldn't even say the liability. Cash flow. You know why? Cash flow produces your lifestyle, right? So notice when you get ready, when y'all talking about going to get something to eat, right? We can either go to McDonald's, or we can go over to Cracker Barrel, right? Or we can go over to what is it? Steak and Shake, right? Red Lobster. What's another one? Huh? Chili, right? Huh? Golden Corral. Anybody ever heard of Houston's? Right? Houston's a little bit different, ain't it? Costs a little bit more. Right? Right? You ever heard of Fogo de Chao? Right? You ever heard of Morton's? Huh? You go to Morton's, Morton's are just for one plate, just for you, $185. Are you hearing me? You just eating a steak, but they charge everything a la carte. That means that everything is sold separately. So if you ever hear somebody say a la carte, it means everything is sold separately. Right? You got to pay for everything. And you don't pay for the plate and fork, but you do pay for the plate and fork. You don't. They don't tell you do, but you do. Right? Right. So the reason why I'm saying this all to you is because cash flow is your ability to go to these different places. I think what it makes sense to y'all is probably shoes, right? A lot of y'all like shoes, right? No? Y'all or do y'all just not care about it? What do y'all care about? What do y'all like spending money on? Video games? Huh? Food? You ain't got no choice. Right? That's good. That's good. So he said he don't like spending money. He said he likes spending money on food. Anybody else? You like spending money on purses, right? That's good. A lot of ladies do, right? Anybody else? Huh? Say it. I heard you. You said something. You like planning? Or do you say playing?
Oh, I said plant.
Plants. Right, so he spends money on plants. No, that's good. That's good. See what we doing, y'all, is we understanding that everybody see things a little bit different. That's what they're spending money on. You hear me? So your cash flow is the ability to live your life. And so that's the one that you want to always make sure is growing to a degree, right? So those are the 5 terms, right? I want everybody to remember, because when it's all over, I'm gonna have some kind of prize for everybody. Okay, right? I don't know if I want to make it. We might make it. We'll see. But here's the point I'm making to you. We understand right now that we have that in financial literacy, where you start is with assets and liabilities, income and expenses, and cash flow. Now, I got one last thing to tell you about financial literacy. You ever hear the word budget? Yes. Anybody ever heard that term? When you study finances, it will tell you that your budget is in your expenses. I'm going to tell you something very different that you might never hear. You always want to budget from your cash flow and make sure that your expenses are always paid. Did you hear me? Because if you budget from your cash flow and your expenses are paid, you're going to have the peace and the autonomy to think about what's important to your life. Did y'all hear me? Right? So a lot of times you see people mad and angry. They're not getting along with people. Do you know why that's happening? That's right. They don't have a budget, but they don't have expenses paid. What happens for people emotionally? People go through some real emotional ups and downs when you can't pay the light bill, right? When you can't pay the car payment, when you can't go on a trip, right? When you can't do these things, it's emotional, right? But if you can take care of these things, now you got the overflow to do whatever you really want to do. That make sense? Okay, so And I said overflow, but I really meant to say cash flow. Okay? But so you budget from your cash flow. And what do you budget? Where do you put your money after you budget? Because you're gonna spend money on two things. Savings. Why you need savings? Savings for any type of emergency, right? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna answer the question.
Okay, answer.
You need savings, so like in case you might have to go somewhere, you're like, oh, I don't have the money. You got something in savings.
Yeah, that's right. I agree. Anything else we need other than savings? Investment account, right? That's called your asset investment account, right? That will be part of it. Now, question. We said savings and investment. Notice those kind of go together, don't they? Right? Is there any other budget that we might want to enjoy? How many of us like? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say
What?
lifestyle.
Lifestyle.
The way you do.
That's right. And a lot of times, lifestyle is going to be a what? Is it going to be an asset? No, it's going to be a what? Liability. So you have to know what order of operation to do before you start talking about lifestyle, right? So your budget should be stronger in assets first, and then after the asset grows more income, more cash flow, guess what you get to do? Enjoy more of those liabilities. Does that make sense, y'all? Go ahead.
I was also gonna ask, like, so like another investment, should we like would it be good to like start a Roth IRA right now or no?
Yes. So you're talking about investment. So let's get to it. Investment is best to start now. Period. Does that make sense, y'all? Investment is based on compound interest, right? So the earlier you begin investment, the more money you're going to have. It's really that simple. So a lot of people talk about how they're nervous about this and nervous about that. You can never get a return on money you never invested. Did y'all catch that? If you never invest the money, how you going to get a return on it? So what you think you need to do? Invest. The mechanism that you choose is just how much you make, right? So like you say, Roth IRA, what's your name? Century. Roth IRA, absolutely yes, right? Mutual fund, absolutely yes. Probably not the best investment, but it's an investment. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Yes. What I would recommend to you is an index fund, because the index fund plays the best part of the market, right? But there's several different stocks that you can invest in. You won't always make money, but it's better that you start so you can see how the money goes up and down. Does that make sense, y'all? All right. So now that we offer financial literacy, so now that we know how things should work, right? Let me ask you a question. When you came in here today, what are you buying when you walk in here? Books, right? What would you call that in business terms? Anybody can tell me? Every business should have one of these products, right? So all of these things sitting on the shelf are called products, right? And so because I have product, you can walk in here and buy something that gives me the ability to make a profit. Does that make sense? And so I want to tell you, I have paid the cost for everything sitting on the shelf, right? But the customer will pay the price for everything sitting on the shelf. They are two different things. How many times? Right. Are we listening? The owner pays the cost. The customer pays the what? Price. And the price minus the cost equals profit, right? But the money coming in is the revenue, right? So that's a gross amount, right? But it's never what the owner gets to keep, because guess what? You have to pay the cost of what's on the shelf. Does that make sense to y'all? Yes. So this is business ownership, right? So as an owner, you have to have the discipline to wait for a customer to buy. Is that clear? So question, who do you think my target audience are? Children. Is it just children? Oh, wow. He said it. Huh? African American children. Black children. Right? But does that mean that I don't sell to everybody? No. But I do have a target. That makes sense? And guess what target is sitting in front of me right now? Are y'all hearing what I'm saying to you? So it's important that y'all see this is how you do business. This is the things that you do. But when you do it this way, you do grow and change, right? So now, how many of y'all got ideas for things that you want to do? Right? Let's talk about some ideas. Yeah.
I want to start making consistent business that sells cookies and brownies.
Okay. Cookies and brownies, right? That's that. And your target market is anybody who want to eat that, right? Anybody else? Come on, I saw some more hands. Therapist and all, right? What motivated you to say those two things? Yeah. And that's really nice. So as an owner, you got to think about other people. So that's great. Anybody else? You don't have to know already, but if you have an idea. All right. Anybody else? Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a different question. Because a lot of times we think we got ideas, right? Y'all see any problems in the world? Everybody see problems? Let's talk about some problems. Right? Let's talk about some problems. What problems do you see? Yeah. Okay, very good. Anybody else? That's good. That's good. These are two very different problems, aren't they? Anybody else got problems?
If she wants him to say something to the people,
World hunger.
because they're gonna grow up, and that'll give him time to kind of talk to the audience a little bit, or at least
Yeah.
Like the donuts, the donuts at this and all that. They just go like maybe what you call it, dumpsters full of donuts. Yeah, they just start rocking the donuts because people will still start eating because they're fresh donuts.
Yeah, absolutely.
wasteful.
They just don't play. They also have like a it's like go to businesses before they close like your house. They'll sell it to you on they'll sell you like multiple boxes for like $2-3.
Now he's moved on to where we're going. What's your name? Zion. Zion just took us to another level. Zion took us to solutions. Are you hearing me? Real quick, I want y'all to, I want to say this, and I want to. When you develop solutions to the problems that you just talked about, you now have a business. Is that clear? Solving a problem, generally your business it won't do well.
If you want to.
Okay, unless it's something fun and exciting, and that is tough to do sometimes, right? Unless you build some video game or some console or something that people really think is fun. Are y'all hearing me? So generally, if you're not solving a problem, then you don't have a business. But if you are, right? Real quick, he just talked about somebody going online, setting up a website and saying you can buy from these businesses when they throw it away. That's a solution. Anybody got any ideas that would maybe be a solution to the problem that you just presented? Any solution? That's good. That's good. That's a business. You will, in both cases, in both cases, there's money to do exactly what you're talking about. It's already been budgeted. You just have to find the people who spend money on it. That makes sense? So,
I was gonna say like, I guess you could say gun violence is a problem.
say again?
Gun violence is a problem.
Gun violence, is it a problem? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
So like if you want to solve, I guess like buying guns and like scrapping the parts and selling them to like the military, because I know they buy guns from what do you say? I mean they buy guns for like business owners that sell it. So
That's good thought. That's good thought. You're talking now. I love it. Right. See, the reality is when you start getting solution minded about what's happening in the world and you help somebody, then people show up to your business to buy your product. Does that make sense? So I'll end with this. The problem that I saw, y'all, was that our children, at the time, my children were 6, 4, or really 5, 3, and 1. Okay? And I realized that when we go to buy books about faith, about science, about nature, the people that we don't see are black faces. Are y'all hearing me? So the stuff that's really regular and normal, we never saw ourselves in the books. So I got real busy creating an environment where my children could see that. And in doing so, we created the listening tree for you to enjoy the same thing. Does that make sense? And so we've been in business now 10 years. We survived the pandemic. And all of these things are attributed to solving that problem within our community. And we're continuing to do so by making sure that you learn how to make money yourself. That makes sense? All right. So we're gonna walk away with assets and solving problems. Can y'all say that with me? Assets and solving problems. Y'all got it right. That's it. So if you have any more purchases, let me know. But do y'all have any questions? This book is $660. Seriously, it's a full program, right? So it's a program that you enroll in for 9 weeks. You go through financial literacy, identifying self-interest, product creation and pricing, business formation and banking, and then website creation and payment. So you go through these 5 different courses. And when you finish with those courses, you have a real business. So you walk away as a young person with an LLC, a bank account, and a functioning website, such that you can start making money yourself at your age. So you build an asset in those 9 weeks. Got me? And it's all in that book. Yes, sir. Yeah. Anybody else? No. No. All right. Hey, no, it's okay. So if y'all got any more purchases, we'll take. Go ahead. Oh yeah, you want the prize? We didn't do the prize, did we? Oh man, my fault. All right, so I'm gonna ask you a question, right? All right, Ed. I'm gonna give you a question, and you're gonna have to do some real math, okay? So the question is this: I have a house whose worth is $250,000. I have a car that costs $50,000. I have a phone that costs $1,500. Okay, and I have an ambulance ride that costs $850. Right? These are all what? You close. Huh? Hold on, let's get some. Liabilities.
He said that already.
Did he say, who said it first? He said liabilities, okay. All right, so, hey, pass me one of them videos right here. Yeah.
If we wanted to technically is explicit. You said the payment, not what they were.
What's that?
You said the payment, not what they were.
All right. So now let's try it again. You got the video, right? Let me see. I think I got some cash.
Cash? Oh.
I think we do this one. We'll do a $10 question.
All right.
Right? We'll do a $10 question. Right? So I want you to answer this question. If I have a house worth $250,000 and I have a business worth $50,000, what's my net worth? And the house is in my liabilities, the business is in my assets. What's my net worth? You ready to answer? You got it?
Did you pay off the house?
No. The house is a $250,000 liability. The business is a $50,000 asset. What is my net worth? Negative 200,000. My man. My man. Mark. But you already got pride. Right? You there, right? All right. So we'll have some fun. So I ask you this. I ask you one last question, right? One last question. They serious, they're gonna break me today. For $20. Yeah. Right? For $20. So I'm gonna give you a $20 question this time. So that's a $10 question. Okay? It's a $20 question. All right? If my cash flow is $5,000 a month, right? And I invest 50% of my cash flow. Ooh, it's too easy. Just a minute. So, give me a second. $20 question, right? If the price of my product, if the price of the product is, and so I want you to tell me two things, right? I want you to tell me what's the profit, right? And then I want you to tell me where I should put that profit. Y'all got me? All right. So if the price of a product is $500 and the cost of that product is $220, what is the profit on that product? You like, yeah.
Wait. So the price is two what?
The price is $500. Mm-hmm. The cost is $220. What's the profit? I had this one first. That was the first thing I saw. How much? That's right. Now, but we're not done. The question is what will you do now? How much will you put into, what will you do? Where will you put that money? What would be the next thing you do with that $280? Now that you made profit.
In like a real world situation.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking business ownership. He needs to answer. What's the best place for that money to go?
Say
back into the what is that? What is no? Are you right when you say product? What is that to a business? Where you invest in? I'm giving it to you strong. So if somebody else answered, then I can't get a 20, right? So you invest in your.
We help each other out here.
Right, you invest in your asset. That's right.
We can split that.
You said
I did help.
You know how to help your boy, right? All right, I'm done. Y'all clean me out. Y'all clean me out. So now, listen, family. I just want y'all to understand, man. Seriously, it's important for you to own businesses. Y'all hear me? If y'all don't hear nothing else from today, I want y'all to hear it from me. Make sure you own something. Make sure you have something that you own that produces for you. And it's better if you start now than if you start later. Because later you're gonna have responsibilities that make it very difficult to start. Y'all hear me? So keep that in mind. If y'all really interested, get it. Have your parents enroll you in our Young Entrepreneurs Program, and you can have a business. We're doing it every day. All right? Cool.
Right, yeah. So you got I go. Okay.
Princess Ladaya, is there something else?
I know we were going to lunch and then do the one activity.
The one activity.
Oh, by one, right? Oh.
No, I mean,